Hey, welcome back to the channel. It's been a while, like over a year since I've made a video, which is kind of crazy. But life has been kind of crazy and I just haven't had time to do it. So today we're going to be doing something that is long overdue, and it's the review of my brand new truck camping setup in the back of my new 2023 Toyota Tacoma TRD off-road. Let's go. Those of you that are not new to the channel know this isn't the first time I've built a truck camping setup. I actually have done 2 other box builds like this in my old truck, and feel free to check those videos out. They're still available on my YouTube, and you get to see kind of where this all started, this box idea, and kind of how it's evolved into what you currently see, which I think is my best one yet. All 3 of them were definitely good. There's things about each one that I didn't like, which I kind of built into this one. But if you're looking to do your own build, and you're looking for ideas, check those videos out. I think there are different takeaways from each of those videos and each of those builds that might help you get ideas for your own build. Couple thoughts before I move on from the truck. This is my first midsize truck. I've never bought a midsize. The reason I didn't go with another half-ton on this truck was, first, I've always had an eye for the Tacoma. I think it's a good looking truck. Second is, during the pandemic, trucks became pretty hard to find, and when you did find them at a dealer, you know, they wanted more money, sometimes up to $10,000 more than what the sticker price on the truck was, and that wasn't something I was willing to do to get a new truck. And so I decided on the Tacoma. It had the box that I was looking for, the crew cab, some of the other options I was looking for, and they're a pretty good off-road truck. There's a ton of information out there about them. A lot of people have some cool builds to take them overlanding, and that's kind of what I want to do with this one. So went with the Tacoma. I've had it for about 18,000 miles now, and I've taken it on some crazy road trips from Idaho to Tennessee and back, Idaho to Texas and back, to California and back, and a lot of places in between, and no issues so far. Gotten used to driving it. It's a little bit different seating position and things that maybe not quite as comfortable as a full-size truck, but definitely doable. The downside of it is definitely the gas mileage. I would say that this Tacoma, being less capable, less towing, less payload than a full-size, and slightly small, it gets worse gas mileage than the half-tons that I had before. So if you buy a Tacoma, you got to know that kind of that's what you're getting into with them is, you know, decent truck, good resale, good trade-in value, very reliable, but gas mileage not all that good. So that's the truck. Now let's get into the camper shell part of it, which where things get more interesting. The first thing I needed to find to start my build was a camper shell or a topper to fit the back of my truck. These things are super expensive new. I've never been one that's real interested in spending the money that they are new. For instance, this one is a Snug Top brand. Highliner is the model, and it's loaded. It has pretty much all the options and things that you'd want. I bought this one used from a gentleman for about $1,100, I believe I paid, in pristine condition, not a scratch or a scuff or anything in it. And he traded his truck in, and the dealer that he traded it in didn't offer him any more money for the topper, so he kept it and sold it. This would be about a $4,500 topper if you went to a Snug Top dealer and bought it. This one has everything that I wanted. It has the raised back, so it's a little bit taller than your normal camper shell that would be cab high, and gives you a little extra room. If you are going to build a Tacoma, I would recommend having the extra head room of a raised topper versus the cab high one. It's already tight back there as it is. You might as well give yourself any extra space that you can. And like I said, this one's loaded. It had the Yakima tracks. You could add crossbars and a roof rack to it, which I'll do down the road. It's got both sides, the full flip open glass with the screened in slider window. So you could pop that open. It's on struts, so it stays. The nice part about this is, if I need to reach something out of here from either side, I can just come in from the side and I can reach pretty much halfway through there. So really nothing would be too far out of reach. It's better than climbing all the way in the back of the truck when you need to get something out. Full locking. It has the one-piece back glass, which is a nice thing. It's got, instead of your T-handles like a lot of them have on the sides, this one has a spring-loaded lock mechanism, which is awesome because you can lock your key, so that thing is locked, but then it gives you the option to have to exit out of the back of the truck. So you can actually have the back locked when you're in there sleeping at night, and so no one will be able to get in there, but you're always able to get out with this little spring-loaded mechanism here to release it to come out. That's pretty awesome, and it sure beats the little makeshift locks that I made on my last camper shell. Before I could start my build, I had to find a bed mat or a bed liner to put in the back of the truck to help with insulation and help with comfort. In my last build, I used a rubber bed mat, and it worked all right, but it's very heavy. In this case, I found this is made by the BedRug company, and it's about a 1-inch thick closed cell foam with ridges that fit over those ridges. So it's nice and flat. It adds a little bit of insulation factor on those cold mornings or cold nights. And it's carpeted. When you kneel on it or have to get in and out of the back of the truck, your knees and feet and arms aren't on those bed ridges that are built into the bed of the truck. It smooths all that out, makes a nice flat platform. That was the base for my build. To build my platform, I had to frame it out. And just like my other builds, I framed it with 2x2s. There's a reason for 2x2s. First off, they're ultra light. So I can frame all of this in, box it all in, and this platform is still light enough to where if I need to use my truck as a truck, you know, it takes a little bit of work, but I can get it out of there by myself. I don't need help. I can pull it, slide it on out, and then I have my truck available to use as a truck if needed. So 2x2 construction, super light, still super strong. And then what I used is these metal corner braces here. And I glued every joint, and then I also used these corner braces just to add a little bit more strength to it. I'm certain that a man much heavier than myself could easily sleep on this and not have any problems with the strength of the actual build itself. Now, I built it around the wheel well here, and so it fits in there snug to wrap around, so there's no wasted space. And it fits snug up to the wall on the back, like up against the bed wall there. And it leaves me with a whole bunch of floor space on this side. So the bed is completely pushed off to one side. The actual top or sleeping platform of the box is built out of 1/2-inch plywood, and then I wrapped it, same as my other builds, in like a marine grade indoor-outdoor carpet so it can get wet. I glued it and stapled it, so all of the inside of the top lids are completely upholstered, and the carpet, obviously it makes it look nice, but the carpet also does is it gives the mattress something to sit on and stick to so that every time you go around a corner or on a rough road, the mattress doesn't slide off the top. For hinges for my platform, I use these, I believe they are like a 4-inch heavy-duty T-style hinge, and they're bolted through here, and they're also bolted to the backside of the 2x2 here. And there is 3 of them for the middle section, and then 2 for each of the back sections there. There's 2 hinges there. So a total of 7 hinges along the 3 platform sections of the top of my build. Now, the reason I have 3 different door sections is because accessing gear from my storage area, which is what you're looking at here, and I need to be able to access with one solid door. First off, it was heavy, but it wouldn't open all the way because the way the back of the camper shell angles in, it wouldn't allow the whole thing to open all the way. So by having individual compartments on the inside allowed me to access gear or electrical or the diesel heater from anywhere in the back of the truck. Once I got done framing the 2x2 frame, as well as cutting and fitting all of my compartment lids and my sleeping platform top, I stained everything with a indoor-outdoor polyurethane stain. It's exterior grade. This one happens to be like an antiqued gray color. It looks very nice, as well as adds another level of protection to the wood to keep it from getting mildew or molded or rotted, anything like that. No matter how well you weatherproof the back of your truck, moisture still can find its way back here. And the more I did to reduce the exposure of the wood to moisture, the longer this will last and the less chance of getting mold or something like that back here. But it turned out really nice as well. This is the fully finished carpeted top of my sleeping platform. This is where the mattress sits, and you can see the individual doors. Not only does the carpet look nice, like I said, it's like an indoor-outdoor weatherproof carpet, but it allows the memory foam mattress something to stick to so it doesn't slide off going around corners or bumpy roads. On top of the sleeping platform is my memory foam mattress. This is a piece of 4-inch memory foam I bought from a store called Fred Meyer. It was about $30. You probably have a Fred Meyer around you. If not, I've seen it at other stores. I had to cut this one to size. It was about 2 or 3 inches too long, so it hung way off the side. So I trimmed it up, and then to finish it off, because a piece of foam sitting there looked dumb, I ordered this off Amazon. This is like a RV bunk mattress cover, I believe, but it fits perfectly on this piece of memory foam. And first off, it makes it look nice, keep it a little bit more finished. But what it also does is allows me to take it off and wash it. If it ever gets wet or muddy or anything like that, I can take it off here, throw it in the wash machine, dry it off, put it back on, I'm good to go, nice and clean. So when I got done framing this, I wanted to finish it off with something nicer than that decorative paneling that I'd used on my other builds. Went to the store and I wandered around trying to figure out what to use, and what I came up with was this shiplap or antique barnwood. Now it's kind of expensive. I bought a bundle of the boards. I cut them all to size so they fit on there, and man, it turned out awesome. This thing just pops. I finished off the top and the bottom trim boards. This is cedar. Cedar is very water repellent, water resistant, holds up well to moisture. I also stained that in that same antique polyurethane stain, and it ties together really nice with the antique barnwood. I really like it. I get a lot of compliments whenever I do go camping and someone happens to see in the back of my truck. They wonder what the heck it is. I show them, and they are very complimentary of it. Very, very nice. It looks awesome. The electrical system of my build is one of the most important pieces. All these components that make up the electrical system allow me to go camping for days on end without need for shore power or anything like that. I can have enough battery life back here to power pretty much anything I need to do or charge anything that I need to charge. And it starts off with this. This is a 100 amp hour Wheeze brand lithium battery. It's from Amazon. I want to say they're around 400 bucks. This battery can charge pretty much all of my devices as well as run my 12 volt fridge. So the battery, highly recommended. It weighs like 26 pounds, super light, and the battery has great reviews. This is my second year with this battery and I have no issues. Still just chugging along. Works just like it did from the day it was new. The next electrical item is this blue thing here, and that is my onboard inverter. That is a 500 watt pure sine wave inverter. It gives you clean power, so none of your electronics could be harmed if you were running it, and it does a really nice job. I didn't go any bigger than 500 watts because I'm not running a microwave back here or anything like that. The things that I'm charging or using are small, and I don't see a need to go any bigger than that. Plus the form factor, the bigger the inverter you go, the more space you have to allot for it. And this one fits perfectly where I want it to go. The next item that I have is this is a solar charge controller. It's made by Renology. It's the Wanderer model, and it is built to handle lithium batteries. So that thing there allows me to take charge from a solar panel and apply it to the battery, so that if I'm going somewhere for 3, 4, 5 days and I don't want to use the generator, I can hook up my solar panel outside, and I have a port for that in the back of the box, which I'll show you later. I can run that solar panel all day while I'm out doing things, and it's adding like a trickle charge to my battery to keep it topped off when I'm out and about on my camping trips. The red button here you see is that is a 12 volt master cutoff switch, like a disconnect. That allows me to cut all power from the battery going to any of the electronic devices. Basically, it goes there first. If it's on, the power can continue on into the fuse block where all of the electronic devices are wired into. That's a safety item. If you ever have anything weird like a short or something weird happens, you can cut the power to everything and not worry about shocking yourself or burning the place down. The next item I have is this 12 volt fuse block. All of my devices are wired into here. There again, Amazon purchase. I'll put links to all this stuff below. This one has plenty of extra room to add other circuits down the road if I need to. It allows me to add the correct size fuse to whatever the device that I'm running, whether that's lights or my fridge or anything else. It's all fused on here so that if there is an issue with the component, it'll blow the fuse and not start the whole truck on fire. To charge my onboard lithium battery, I added a Marine Noco Genius battery charger, like an onboard battery charger. It has a setting for lithium. One thing, if you're going to use lithium batteries, you have to use lithium friendly components. And having that onboard battery charger on here, all I have to do is plug in a cord from shore power or from my generator, and that onboard battery charger will keep this battery charged. It also charges this lithium battery very fast, so if it ever is dead, in just a few hours I could have this thing fully charged and ready to use again. This is my shore power inlet that I installed in the side of the camper shell. It's gasketed, it's waterproof. Basically, you open this. This has a lead on the inside that goes to the onboard charger. I take an extension cord from my shore power or from my generator, I plug it straight into here, and I'm charging my batteries. I can keep the back end locked up. I don't have to run an extension cord in there. I literally plug in the side of the camper shell and it tops off my batteries. I usually do that in the night before I'm leaving to go on a trip. Overnight, my battery's charged, I'm ready to go. From the fuse block, everything goes into a series of switches. So this is my main switch panel here. And basically, I can turn the main power on to the fuse block. It shows me what kind of voltage I have in my battery. It also has a USB, a couple USB ports there to charge my phone or like a tablet. It also has a cigarette lighter 12 volt adapter right there. I can turn all of these on or off as needed. Super slick, really nice quality fuse block. It's made out of aluminum. The switches have a nice feel to them. That was a good purchase off Amazon. This cord and this port is for my 12 volt fridge power. It goes into the fuse block as well. And the fridge came with like a 12 volt plug that would normally go into something like this cigarette lighter adapter here. When I first started using the fridge, I would plug it into this, and bouncing down the road or on long road trips, it would wiggle itself out as the truck was going down the road. It didn't have a very good connection, and the fridge would always shut itself off or turn on or off. I cut the end of that cigarette lighter plug off and I spliced in. This is an SAE style connector, and it's just 2 pins, positive, negative, same on there. And it's also a very reliable connection. When it's plugged in, it's not going anywhere. It sticks really well. So what this is the other end of my 12 volt fridge power cord, and it comes out here by the tailgate so I can get at the fridge. Since I keep it in this area, when I'm traveling down the road, I want to get a water or something out, I'm able to just pop the back of the glass of the camper shell, grab a water out. But that cord runs all the way along the edge of the bed, underneath that BedRug, all the way up to that SAE connector that's tied into the fuse panel. So it's hidden away, safe, not gonna trip on it. Comes out right here, able to power up my fridge, and always have easy access to drinks. The next thing I added was this flush mounted kind of a furniture power strip. It's flush to the side of the box. It gives me 2 regular 110 outlets and 2 USBs to charge additional devices. And the back side of this is corded. That is what plugs into the inverter. And so when I turn the inverter on, power runs through that cord into this. So I don't have to plug things in through the top of the box into the inverter. I have a way to just plug them right into here. It allows me to use things or charge things that might not have a 12 volt option. I can charge them off 110. Very slick. The next item I added is this 12 volt battery status gauge. I can turn this on, it's hardwired into the battery, and it kind of gives me a rough idea of what percent of battery life that I have left. Now, it's not perfect, it's not the most accurate thing in the world, but it does give you a quick baseline to know what kind of battery charge you have left. If you're running your fridge or say the diesel heater all night, you kind of like to know where your battery's at before that. If you need to add to it via charging, like the generator or shore power or the solar panel, you'll know when you roughly need to add charge to it. I use the same lights that I'd ordered for my last builds. These are from Amazon, just a little LED light strip. I put 2 of them on the back. Like I said, these are my cooking lights. I can turn those ones off and on. On the side, I added 1, 2, 3, 4 more of these LED light strips. Very bright, but not too bright. So what I'm able to do is when I turn them on with the switch, I can see everything that I've got in this area here. Very, very nice, very simple, and they hardly use any power. So I can run all these lights and barely even put a dent in my battery. My favorite set of lights that I did in this build is this LED light strip. It goes full length of the bedside from front to back. And since Toyota had this utility channel here where you mount their tie downs and things, it was the perfect spot to attach a sticky back LED strip. So it runs full length, like I said. The wires run underneath this lip of the camper shell and right down into the fuse panel, controlled by that switch. So I'm able to switch on this set of lights and this set of lights independently or both at the same time. Because sometimes it's nice to have light that shines down from the ceiling, I installed these touch lights. They're little pucks. They run off AAA batteries. I put one in the front, one in the back of the camper shell, and they're really easy. Turn on and off real quick if I need to see something. They're attached with a piece of sticky back Velcro that I put on the back of this that attaches easily to the carpeted headliner of the truck. The next thing I added was this marine cup holder. I think it's made for a boat. It's made out of stainless steel, metal, durable. Basically, it gives me a spot. If I'm sleeping at night, I like to drink water before I go to bed and when I wake up in the morning. I always got a spot to keep a bottle of water where it's not going to tip over. I'm not going to drop anything on it. It's always going to be there when I need it. When I'm done with it and I'm on the road, I can fold it up out of the way It's pretty slick. It just keeps things out of the way, and it's always a handy spot for that, you know, cold beer or that bottle of water when you need it. This is the thermostat for my diesel heater. I have it flush mounted here. Using that allows me to control the temp of the back of the truck using the diesel heater, turn it on and off, and adjust some settings in it as well. So I have that handy there. This is my diesel heater heat vent. This is where all the heated air that comes to the diesel heater comes out of the back of the truck. I'm able to adjust it whichever way I want the air to flow, toward the front, toward the back. I can kind of direct it that way. It's mounted right through there, flush mounted to the side of the box. Pretty handy. It works really, really well. I can adjust the airflow. Say I want it further blown up toward the front, can do that. If it's too much, I can send it toward the back, and it kind of keeps the heat regulated in here a little bit. This is a JBL Bluetooth speaker that I added to the back of the truck because when you go camping, it's nice to have some tunes on when you're cooking dinner or sitting by a fire or something. So, or also when I'm just in the back of the truck, I can stream things through my phone or through my devices to this Bluetooth speaker. And I mounted it here because the ports to charge it's right there. And I have some USBs in the back here, so the cord doesn't have to reach very far to charge. It's kind of out of the way, not tripping over it, and works really well. This is a Weaver brand 2 kilowatt diesel heater. Fun fact, this is the second year on this same heater. I've run it for hundreds of hours over the course of the last 2 winters, and I've yet to have a hiccup from it. It runs just as good now as the day I took it out of the box and first installed it. Awesome thing to have. It's nice, dry, warm air. It doesn't fill up the back of the truck with condensation like the Buddy heater did. The windows stay nice and clear. They're not all fogged up when I'm running this. And it's very adjustable. I can run it down low and not be so hot that I have to open windows in the back. Whereas the Buddy heater was just one level of heat or 2 levels of heat, and sometimes when the lowest was too hot, you had to open windows and things or shut it off. You couldn't just let it run, it would get too warm. If it's minus 10 outside, I crank the heat up, and it can keep me warm during that. But if it's say like 35 or 40, I can turn it down on low and it just produces a small amount of nice warm air. So it's very adjustable and makes things very comfortable back here. In this battery box here, I mounted the fuel tank for the diesel heater. So if I take the cover off that, I mounted this in the very, very back for the reason of when I need to fill this up with diesel fuel, I can pull up to a diesel tank, open the window of the camper shell, open this lid here, and I can stick the nozzle to the diesel line right in here and pump my 1.5 gallons of diesel. I put it in this battery box to contain any potential spills that I would have. When you spill diesel fuel, it stinks. I don't want to smell it back here. If it spills, this plastic enclosed battery box allows me to wipe up any spillage that might happen, so I don't have to live with that stinky smell of diesel. Out of the tank, the fuel hose goes, that's the fuel filter for the diesel fuel. It runs through the back of the box and into this camera box here, okay? You can see it in comparison to my hand. I flick this open here. Inside this box is some foam that you would pull out for your camera or whatever you want to protect in here. That's where I mounted the fuel pump for the diesel heater. Those of you that are familiar with diesel heaters know that the fuel pumps make a clicking or a ticking sound, and depending on where you mount that, it can be very loud and obnoxious. It kind of reverberates through whatever you mount it to. By keeping it isolated in this box and surrounded in foam, that clicking sound is almost gone. I rarely hear it. Unless you really listen for it and know it's there, you're not going to hear it. It works exceptionally well, and I would recommend doing something like this if you're looking to add a diesel heater to a camper van or anything. Isolate the box. I have rubber washers between the back of this box and the wood on the back of this platform, and the rubber helps absorb the click, 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 as well as all this foam inside here. All of this together really helps isolate that sound and keeps it enclosed in this box so you don't hear it, because a diesel heater fuel pump mounted in the wrong spot can mean the difference between sleeping and not sleeping. They can be that loud. I can also control my diesel heater with this remote control. It's got, as you can see, it's got on, off, and then up and down. That controls your temperature up and your temperature down. And I hook this, when I'm not using it, right on this hook here. And that allows me to, if it gets too hot in here, if I'm running it at night, I can grab that remote real quick, turn it down a little bit, hang it back up there. I always know where it's at. Or if I get cold at night and I don't want to get out of my sleeping bag, I can reach over, I can grab that remote and click up the diesel heater a few notches and get it back to comfortable in here. It's a very nice place to hang it. It's always handy. I never have to look for it. The most important part if you're running any kind of a diesel heater is a carbon monoxide detector. I mounted it on the corner up here in the front of my camper shell, and basically if I'm sleeping at night, I always crack windows if I'm running heat anyway, just barely, but I keep them cracked just as a safety measure. But this is another level of safety. You know, if something crazy happened to the diesel heater or anything like that, the alarm should go off and wake me up and know that I need to get out of here, or at least check into what's going on. Knock on wood, all the years been running the diesel heater, I've never had the carbon monoxide detector go off once. Replace the batteries in it a couple times a year, and it's just an extra level of peace of mind. For the curtains in this build, I did the same thing I did in my last truck, and I went to the fabric store and bought these bulk pieces of fleece material, okay? I cut them out to the size of the side windows, one on each side and one to the front window in the back of the camper shell. And what I did is I sewed in a piece of Velcro about every 12 inches along the edge, and that Velcro sticks very, very well to the carpeted headliner of the camper shell. So in a matter of seconds, I can attach this on one side, same with the other, and it allows me to easily pull open the part of the window that I want to be open and quickly shut it as well. It blocks light, but it also isn't completely black, so it lets just enough light through to feel like you're not in a dark cave if you have to be in there during the day, and blocks enough light out at night where if you have the lights on, no one can tell that you're back there. So it's a good mix of like privacy, but being able to see a little bit too. All right, so now that we covered all the features and details of this build, I wanted to show you guys what it looks like when it's camping ready. Now, to make it easier to show you guys the systems and features of this build, I took everything out. Everything that would normally be in there on a camping trip, like the refrigerator, the rugs, the chair, the curtains, sleeping bag, pillows, all that stuff is out of there because it'd be too clumsy to try to show you everything. I'm gonna load everything in there and we're gonna see how it turns out when it's done. I am so proud of this build. I think it turned out awesome. I can't wait to show you guys what it looks like ready to go camping. Starting at the back here, this is my 12-volt fridge. I never run it as a freezer, even though you can. It'll go down to like -6. There's the power cord that we talked about that goes in to the fuse panel up there. But this thing is awesome. Off my battery. If I run it as a fridge, not a freezer, it can get me 2 to 3 days. It'll go longer than that during the cool weather months. The heat of summer though, I'll get 2 to 3 days out of a charge. Okay, it works awesome. I love it. Never have to worry about finding ice. Sticky on light strip that I was showing you on the bottom there. I have it turned on. See it all the way down. Okay, turned out awesome. When you're above it, anywhere up in the truck, you don't have to stare directly at the light. It's shining down. Lights up the floor, very, very nice. Puck lights up there, turned on. That's my backpacking chair that I bought just for the back of this truck. I modified the legs to shorten it up a little bit, and with the legs the way they are, I am able to sit in there just fine, kick my feet up on top of the fridge, and watch my TV. Awesome place to hang out. Obviously, you want to be outside when you go camping, but during inclement weather, rain, windy days, sometimes it's nice to be inside, and that gives me a place to get out of the weather and be able to watch a show. This is a 11-inch Android tablet that I download Amazon Prime onto. I mounted it to the roof of the camper shell with one of these aluminum arms. It grabs onto the pad, and with that I'm able to watch any movies I pre-download, or if I use the hotspot on my phone, or if you were to have like a mobile hotspot or something like Starlink, you could watch Hulu, DirecTV Now, any of these streaming services. You could watch TV from a campground. I did buy a rubber catch mat here. This is just something cheap from like Walmart or something like that. My shoes are wet, snowy, muddy, whatever they might be. When I first climb in the truck, I can take my shoes off, leave them here. None of that mud, dirt, snow, whatever gets on my carpeted floor. So it's a nice catch-all, kind of a boot mat. Catches all the crap. When I'm done, I can hose this thing out, shake it out, whatever. And it keeps my wet feet, wet shoes, whatever, contained to the mat and not all over the back of the truck. All right, guys, I think that about wraps up today's video. First off, thank you so much for sticking with me. I know it's been a year since I made a video, actually a little bit over a year, and I promise you it won't be another year until you get another video from me. It means a lot when still have people asking in the comments like, how come you're still not making videos? You make good stuff. I don't think it's good stuff. I'm very amateur at this stuff, but I try, and it wouldn't be any fun if people didn't like it. So thank you so much. I really do appreciate that. And let me know what you guys think of this build. I'm awfully proud of it. I think it's my best one yet. It's been an awful lot of fun to go take that thing on some fishing trips this summer and fall. And I can't wait to take you guys along for the next video. It will not be a year, I promise you that. And we'll get out and explore with it. That's the best part about truck camping. You throw some gas in, you drive, and who knows where you end up. So thank you guys so much. Stay safe, and we'll catch you in the next video.